Hello and welcome to today's session. This session is for the business administration learners, and today we are going to be focusing on record and document production, and we are also going to be having a brief look at policies within your organisation. I am Leanne Peters, I am your trainer for today, and my contact details will be left at the end of this presentation. Just a bit of an introduction here. Health and safety, we are completing online learning due to the coronavirus pandemic. If you do have any safeguarding concerns, please contact Marie Spence or Tracy Turner. They are Best Choice Training safeguarding leads, and their details will be provided at the end of this presentation. Everyone is going to be given the opportunity to give their opinion and ask questions regarding this presentation. You'll be provided with my email address, which you can voice your opinions and ask questions. And it will also make sure everyone has inclusivity within the groups. We are adhering to British values. Everyone here is in different age, religions and gender, and we will be discussing behaviours and legislations. If you do have anything you'd like to discuss or you'd like me to make a forum within different learners for this topic, I'm more than happy to do that so we can have an opinion through discussion. On the agenda today, we are going to be starting off with record and documentation production. Then we are going to briefly look at policies and then have a look at the workbook that you are to complete. You are to complete different tasks throughout this presentation, which needs to be uploaded onto one file after 1 week of watching this video, and these will be marked against your qualification. In the last session, we looked at communication and you were able to understand the term communication. You demonstrated understanding of verbal and non-verbal communications, understood how different tones within media can affect branding, and we also recapped on British values, prevent duty, and health and safety. The aims and objectives of today. You are to understand record and document production, understand the organisation's internal policies and key business policies relating to sector. And today you are going to produce accurate records and documents, including emails, letters, files, payments, reports, and proposals. These records need to be consistently accurate and confidential. You are also going to make recommendations for improvement and present solutions to management. Recommendations are insightful, clearly recorded, and result in a clear benefit to the organisation. And you are going to draft a correspondence where you will write a report and review other work. And finally, to understand, follow, and promote the organisation's internal policies. Just a brief introduction. The Business Administrator Apprenticeship is a minimum of 12 months and should be typically completed within 18 months. The last 3 months is for your EPA endpoint assessment. Your apprenticeship provides a highly transferable set of knowledge, skills and behaviours which will be gained through working across your organisation and its processes. You as an apprenticeship will gain a firm grounding in organisational operations and functional processes, as well as the wider working environment. As a learner, you are expected to work independently and take responsibility for the outcomes of your work with the support of your employer and Best Choice Training. Through working across functional areas, you will build a team relationship quickly and learn from others to develop specific set skills. The need to communicate and represent your work clearly will be reflected in the assessment methods of the endpoint assessment, also known as EPA. The assessment methodology provides fair, valid and rigorous assessments across your learning outcomes of the standards and guidelines on completing the assessment. Once you have completed your 12 months and enter the EPA, you will have a portfolio-based interview, and this will last around 30 to 45 minutes, and you are scored out of 100 by the Independent Endpoint Assessment Organisation. Your portfolio of learning will provide a structure of this conversation, and also your portfolio should contain at least one piece of evidence for each of the minimum KSBs. This will be submitted to the EPAO a month prior to the interview, and the interview will assess your understanding and learning shown in the portfolio. The portfolio is not directly assessed. The interview assesses your understanding of the portfolio to validate competence shown, self-reflection of performance, demonstrating knowledge and how appropriate skills and behaviours have been applied, judgment and understanding to explain appropriate examples. Your portfolio of learning will contain evidence of a minimum of 8 to 12 pages. It is expected for consistency. At least one of each of the minimum knowledge, skills and behaviours as outlined by the Annex Methods and Grading Table. There will be practical observation or evaluations by your employer to be included, such as acknowledgement of a skill shown or evidencing work completed on a particular project within manager's comments, which is then discussed at the interview. The knowledge of the portfolio is to be assessed at interview by the EPA. Best Choice Training will be responsible for providing guidance on complying your portfolio on programme, which is to be reviewed by your employer and Best Choice Training prior to triggering the EPA. Your employer should provide suitable work for you to apply yourselves to and discuss at the interview. The EPA happens after the 12 months and then will follow 3 months after. Now we are going to explore record and document production. Administrative record. They are data collected for the purpose of carrying out various non-statistical programs. Using administrative records presents a number of advantages to a statistical agency and to its analysis. The administrative record is the paper trail that documents the company's decision-making processes and the basis for the company's decisions. What I'd like you to do now is think about what record do you have to work with at your organisation. Take some time, write these down. So what records do you have to work with at your organisation? Pause this video and write a list of records that you have to work with within your organisation. And if you'd like to stretch yourself further, you can also explain how and what legislations do you comply to when you work with these records. Please upload this onto your OneFile, 1 week of watching this video, and it will be assessed. Thank you for completing that. Please upload it onto OneFile. Production data is data that is essential to completing day-to-day business tasks and processes. Production data must be readily available for frequent and efficient access and is stored persistently. Production data is information that is persistently stored and used by professionals to conduct business processes. It must be accurate, documented, and managed on an ongoing basis to ensure its value to the organisation. What is a letter? As part of your apprenticeship, you may be asked to write a letter to a client, a patient, or other stakeholders. A letter is a written or printed communication addressed to a person or organisation and usually transmitted by mail. What I'd like you to do is answer this question. Why do you write letters in your organisation? What is their purpose? Spend some time reflecting on why do you write letters in your organisation? What are they used for? Do they benefit the business? Who are they sent to? Please also upload this onto your OneFile. What is an email? An email is short for electronic mail. Similar to a letter, it is sent via the internet to a recipient. An email address is required to receive an email, and that address is unique to the user. Some people use internet-based applications and some use programs on the computer to access and store emails. The key benefits and features of using an email are they are quick. They receive the email as soon as they go online and collect their email. It is also secure. It is also low cost. and photos, documents, and other files can be attached onto an email so that more information can be shared. And also, one email can be sent to more than one person at a time. I'm going to play you a short video on how to help you write formal emails and how it will help you become a professional email writer. This video will be sourced and linked at the end of this presentation. I hope you find it useful. Some brilliant advice there on how to be mindful when making emails. I'm going to move on to now, what is a report? So a report is written for a clear purpose and to a particular audience. Specific information and evidence are presented, analysed and applied to a particular problem or issue. The information that is presented in a clear structured format, making use of sections and headings so that the information is easy to locate and follow. When you are asked to write a report, you will be usually given a report brief which provides you with instructions and guidelines. The report brief may outline the purpose, audience, and problem or issue that your report must address, together with any specific requirements for the format or structure. A computer file is a computer resource for recording data discretely in a computer storage device. Just as words can be written to paper, so can information be written into a computer file. There are different types of computer files designed for different purposes. A file may be designed to store a picture, a written message, a video, a computer program, or a wide variety of other kinds of data. Some files can store several types of information at once. By using a computer program, a person can open, read, change, and close a computer file. These files may be reopened, modified, and copied by an arbitrary number of times. Typically, these files are organized within a file system, which keeps track of where the file is located on disk and enables user access. What are payments? It is the transfer of one form of good, service, or financial asset in exchange for another from a form of a good, service, or financial asset in proportions that have been made previously agreed upon by all parties involved. Payments can be made in the form of funds, assets, or services. What I'd like you to do is think about who records these payments. Are you expected to make any payments or take any payments while you are in your apprenticeship? Have a think and just write these answers down. What is a proposal? A business proposal is a written offer from a seller to a prospective buyer. Business proposals are often a key step in the complex sales process. So, for example, whenever a buyer considers more than a price in a purchase. A proposal puts the buyer's requirements in a context that favours the seller's products and services and educates the buyer about the capabilities of the seller in satisfying their needs. Data accuracy is one of the components of data quality. It refers to whether the data values stored for an object are correct values. To be correct, a data value must be the right value and must be represented in a consistent and definitive form. So, for example, my birthday is the 13th, 1941. Confidentiality is the protection of personal information. It means that keeping a client's information between you and the client and not telling others, including co-workers, friends, and family. Examples of maintaining confidentiality include individual files are locked and secured, and you also do not tell other people what is in the client's files unless they have permission from the client. Information about clients is not told to people who do not need to know. This includes medical details that they are not discussed without their consent. And adult clients have the right to keep any information about themselves confidential, which includes that information being kept from family and friends. What we need to do now is complete your tasks. So the first task is a job application form. You are required to work individually and complete the job application form handed to you. You will be able to access these through the resource section. If you have any problems, send me an email and I can email them over to you, but all of the tasks will be uploaded onto one file. Your job application will contain confidential information about you which you input. After completion, you will need to write a statement at the bottom of page 2 and state what you did and how you think your information should be handled as if it contains confidential information. This is task 1. For your job application, I would not include your personal address to keep it confidential, just to write down all of your previous job histories and your personal statement there. And remember, after completion, you will need to write a statement at the bottom of page 2 and state what you did and how you think your information should be handled as if it contains confidential information. Please upload this onto OneFile. Task 2. Your next task is to write a report. You will now create an incident report. I will give the resource for the template will also be on OneFile. And here you will be able to demonstrate how you write a report. Please send your reports to OneFile and write a statement to say what you did and use the timesheet section in your portfolio tab to demonstrate the amount of time spent on any task through any presentation. You will have to complete the details on the incident form. Please do not use your own details or your colleagues. You can make up a name. And please save your incident report forms as you'll need it for the next task. Task 3 is to write an email. Now that you have created your incident report form, you are required to send an email to the Health and Safety Officer. This email will have you explain the incident and attach the incident report form. Please ensure that you are using a formal format for your email. Again, please upload this onto OneFile and use the timesheet section to write a statement about what you did. We are going to take a short, brief break from those communications there and report writing and document production. And what I'd like you to do is test your mathematical knowledge by answering all 15 of these questions. If you just pause this video, write these down and send me over the answers via OneFile also. You can attach it to any other document that you've made. Good luck. Now we're going to look at part 2, which is policies. A policy is a statement which underpins how human resources management issues can be dealt with in an organisation. It communicates an organisation's values and the organisation's expectations of an employee, behaviours and performance. They often reinforce and clarify standard operating procedures in a workplace. Well-written policies help employees manage staff more effectively by clearly defining acceptable and unacceptable behaviours in the workplace and set out the implications of not complying with these procedures. A workplace policy consists of a statement of purpose and one or more broad guidelines in action to be taken to achieve that purpose. The statement of purpose should be written in simple terms, free of jargon. The length of the policy may vary depending on the issue it addresses. Furthermore, a policy may allow discretion in its implementation and the basis of that discretion, which should be stated as part of the policy. A policy may also be required where there is diversity of interests and preferences, which could result in vague and conflicting objectives among those who are directly involved. Internal companies' policies are set out documented guidelines that establish standards in areas, for example, such as proper procedures and employee behaviour. In many cases, internal policies must meet certain legal requirements, such as those regarding employees' right to privacy. The policies your employer chooses to implement will vary, depending on the nature of the business and their own management philosophy. Here are a few examples of widely used policies. Substance abuse can affect employees' attendance and productivity. In work environments such as construction or handling hazardous materials, it can pose a safety risk. Many companies institute a policy regarding disciplinary measures for work-related substance abuse, such as terminating a worker for consuming alcohol in the workplace. They must also provide a method for employees to seek confidential guidance or treatment when dealing with a substance abuse problem, such as an employee assistance program. Dress code. Some companies require employees to dress in a certain manner on the job. In an office environment, male workers may have to wear a tie, while women may have to dress in appropriate business attire to promote a professional atmosphere. Workers who deal with the public often must wear a uniform to promote the company's brand or to provide easy recognition for customers. A common example is a UPS driver's distinctive brown uniform. Companies may also implement a policy governing the use of computers within the workplace in an effort to increase productivity and limit internet surfing. They may also place limitations on sending, receiving personal emails or instant messages. Security conscious companies may require employees to sign a release that allows employers to monitor email and internet activity. This will help ensure that confidential information stays within the organisation and prevents employees from sending threatening or harassing emails to colleagues. Working for others. A policy limiting an employee's ability to work for others may exist to protect the employer. The company may prohibit an employee from working for a competitor on a part-time basis to prevent the disclosure of confidential information. If an employer leaves the company to work for a competitor, they may be required to sign a non-compete agreement that prevents her from doing business with or even approaching the company's clients for a specified period of time. Types of key policies: code of conduct, recruitment policy, internet and email policy, mobile phone, non-smoking, drug and alcohol, health and safety, anti-discrimination and harassment, grievance handling, discipline and termination, using social media. So what are the benefits of policies within the workplace? They are consistent within the values of the organisation. Also, the policies comply with the employment and other associated legislations. They demonstrate that the organisation is being operated in an efficient and business-like manner. They also ensure standardisation and consistency in decision-making and operational procedures. They also add strength to the position of staff when possible legal action arises. And policies in the workplace can save time when a new problem can be handled quickly and effectively for an existing policy. They also foster stability and continuality. They maintain the direction of the organisation even during periods of change, such as coronavirus. They provide the framework for business planning, and they assist in the assessing of performance and establishing accountability of employees, and clarify functions and responsibilities. That is everything for policies. What you need to do now is complete a workbook to demonstrate your knowledge and understanding, and you can use internet research for this, and you must work individually. You'll be able to find the workbooks uploaded into the resource section on OneFile. Please upload your completed workbook onto OneFile for marking after 1 week of this video being watched. We are now going to recap on British values. So we have covered product documentation, policies, and now we're going to have a look at British values. The 5 British values are democracy, the rule of law, individual liberty, mutual respect, and tolerance of those with different faiths and beliefs. These are your 5 British values. You are more than welcome to conduct some research in your own time, which will go towards your 20% off the job hours. The 5 British values are democracy, the rule of law, individual liberty, mutual respect, and the tolerance of those with different faiths and beliefs. Prevent. The Prevent duty is the duty of the Counter-Terrorism and Security Act 2015 on specified authorities in the exercise of their functions to have due regard to the need to prevent people from being drawn into terrorism. What is safeguarding? Safeguarding is protecting vulnerable adults or children from abuse or neglect. It means making sure people are supported to get good access to healthcare and stay well. It is wrong if vulnerable people are not treated by professionals with the same respect as their other patients. These 6 principles are safeguarding are empowerment. People should be supported and encouraged to make their own decisions. This should be done by making services more personal, giving people more choice and control over their decisions, asking people what they want the outcome to be. Prevention. Organisations should work together to stop abuse before it happens by raising awareness about abuse and neglect, training staff, and also to make sure clear, simple and accessible information is available about abuse and where people can get help. Proportionately, when dealing with abuse situations, services must ensure that they always think about the risk. Any response should be appropriate to the risk presented. Services must respect the person and think about what is best for them and only get involved as much as needed. Protection. Organisations must ensure that they know what to do when abuse has happened by knowing what to do if there are any concerns, how to stop the abuse, and how to offer help and support for people who are at risk. The 5th is partnership. Organisations should work in partnership with each other and local communities. Local people also have a part to play in preventing, detecting and reporting abuse. Everyone is responsible for reporting safeguarding. And accountability. Safeguarding is everyone's business. Everyone must accept that we are all accountable as individuals, services and as organisations. Roles and responsibilities must be clear so that people can see and check how safeguarding is done. Equality and diversity. Equality and diversity is a term used in the United Kingdom to define and champion equality, diversity and human rights as defining values of society. It promotes equality of opportunities for all, giving every individual the chance to achieve their potential free from prejudice and discrimination. The protected characteristics also include age, gender, nationality, disability, pregnancy, and marital status. Health and safety. Regulations and procedures intended to prevent accidents or injury within the workplaces or public environments. All workers are entitled to work in environments where risks to their health and safety are properly controlled. Under the health and safety law, the primary responsibility for this is down to the employers. Employers have a duty to consult with their employees on their representatives and health and safety matters. E-safety. E-safety is a term which means not only on the internet, but also in other ways that young people communicate using electronic media, for example, mobile phones. E-safety means ensuring that children and young people are protected from harm and supported to achieve the maximum benefit from new and developing technologies without risk to themselves or others. The aim of promoting e-safety is to protect young people from the adverse consequences of access or use of electronic media, including from being bullied, inappropriate sexualized behavior, or exploitation. For your homework, you are required to write a proposal to managers within your organisation on making a recommendation for improvement. So you are required to write a proposal to management within your organisation and making a recommendation for improvement. Please upload this onto one file within 1 week of watching this video. Please do not send to your managers, send to myself for marking, and we can discuss this further. You need to make sure you structure your proposal professionally, and remember this needs to be a formal letter. Recommendations or improvements can include whether there's sufficient training. Do you want more training? Do staff want more training? Maybe to employ more staff. Do you have too much of a workload? Flexibility, so including work-life balance. You must also explain why this recommendation will improve and benefit the organisation. Because you are business administration learners, this needs to be a recommendation that is based around business administration. You could offer a new structure for filing. Could you implement a new form? So what have you learned today? What I'd like you to do is write a reflection on what you have learned today from this presentation, and you're more than welcome to give me feedback. There will be feedback forms at the end of the session provided also, and I look forward to your feedback and your reflection. In the next session, we are going to be looking at decision making within the workplace, and we will also recap on equality, diversity, health and safety, prevent and safeguarding. Thank you very much for joining this session, and I look forward to seeing you in the next session. If you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me. Many thanks.